Hello everyone, I'm Pierrette and welcome to my kitchen. Today's episode is going to be on baked beans, and I have sort of planned a menu for Easter, and I'm sharing those recipes with you for what we're going to have for our Easter dinner. So we've already done the ham, that was our first video, and today's video is going to be baked beans. And the baked beans are a recipe that my dad grew up with. He was raised in the Boston area in Somerville, Massachusetts, and baked beans are a huge thing in that community, and my dad loved them. And my mom mastered them, and I'm going to share that recipe with you today. So we start with a bag of these great white northern beans. And the navy beans look pretty similar, but my mom was always adamant that they're not. So I've never tried it with navy beans, even though they look the same. I always use the great white northern beans that my mom did. So we're gonna dump those in there, and then we are going to cover them with water. So I don't know how well you can see that. They're just spread across the bottom. And in this particular crock pot, I'm going to pour in 2, 3, 4, 5, let's do 6 cups of water. And we want them very, very well covered, and we're going to add some ingredients to make them taste, to impart some flavor into them. The first thing we're going to do are some pork neck bones. Now, if you don't have pork neck bones or your store doesn't carry them, you can always use the bones from the pork chops. That we have another recipe that on our channel with pork chops with the bone in, with brandy and orange sauce. And I always encourage you guys, when you're cooking, save the juice, save the bones. Put them in a bag in your freezer, exactly for stuff like this. So if you do have ribs or anything where you have the bones, throw them in the freezer. And when you're doing something like this, if you don't want to go to the store and buy the pork neck bones, you can always use those bones from your meals to flavor your food. The marrow gives them a wonderful flavor, and bones always impart a lot of flavor into your food. So I'm not going to use all of these because they're pretty big, but I'm going to stack about 4 of them in here. And I'm just going to tie this off so that when we're done, these will be really easy to pull out and we don't have to go fishing for bones in our beans. So I'm going to drop those in as well. And then we're going to add some seasonings and spices. So we're going to do say about 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And we can always go back and add more. That's the really great thing. These beans are going to cook overnight. It is a process. So you want to give them time for the flavor to sink in, and then we'll check them in about 12 hours and see how they taste. And if we need to, we can always add more flavor. This is molasses. And the reason why I sprayed the cup with a little bit of nonstick spray is because it's very sticky and goopy. And if you don't want to have to scrape it out of there, you just coat your measuring cup with a little bit of nonstick spray and it basically pours right out. So we're going to do 1/4 cup of molasses, 1/4 cup of ketchup, and 1/4 cup of mustard. So we're kind of not exactly creating our own barbecue sauce, but we are utilizing some of those flavors. And the ketchup has sugar in it. The molasses obviously is sweet. And then we added brown sugar as well. So we definitely don't want to go crazy with the sugar. We're trying to give it flavor without all that. So there you go. 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1/4 cup of mustard, 1/4 cup of molasses, and about 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And it doesn't look like much right now. You're gonna have to let it simmer and you're gonna have to trust me. So we'll check on this in the morning. I'm gonna pull the beans out from under this so it sits a little lower and we get those flavors. And we will check on those in the morning. Welcome back, everyone. It's been about 24 hours since we started our baked beans, and I wanted you to see how amazingly well they came out. So here are your baked beans. Remember when we started, they were white and kind of anemic looking? Well, all of that has changed. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pull out this big ball of bones and meat that we put in there. And then I wanna show you, we put in 6 cups of water, and it is virtually absorbed into the beans along with all that flavor. The molasses gave them a beautiful rich color, and the brown sugar made them just a little bit sweet. I wanted you to see how easily this meat comes off the bones. So see, one of them came right out. They basically separate from the bones almost completely on their own. And this meat has a great flavor too. Because we use nice big chunks of meat, it doesn't take away the flavor as much. Now you could use a ham bone, you could use just some bacon, but know that if you're gonna do just bacon, I would add it maybe an hour before you're gonna serve it, because the bacon will lose all of its flavor to the beans, and then the bacon pieces themselves won't really have any flavor left. So if you are going to use bacon, use it just before it finishes, maybe an hour before. And if you are going to use any kind of meat or a bone or a ham bone or a ham hock, all of those things are acceptable and will give great flavor to your finished product. That's it. That's our delicious meat from the bones that we put in there. And this almost looks like pulled pork. I'm going to add this back into the beans and stir it in. And this will add just another layer of flavor and protein to your dish. So there it is. All mixed up. Pork and beans, Boston style. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you will make this not just for your Easter dinner, but for your barbecues and your family events. I hope this will become a family tradition for you like it has for us. And I think you're gonna love it. So if you do like what you see, please subscribe and share our channel with your friends. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Take care. Have a great day.